Tabi boots are some of the coolest and most unique styles of footwear ever made. Dating back to the 1300s in Japan, this style of footwear has been popular from anything from historical samurais, Japanese nobility, and even down to the everyday man for casual and workwear. So after we cut apart this disgrace and found out that they're literally just garbage and essentially just costume footwear, I went out on the hunt to try to find exactly what I would use Tabi boots for. One for work that has some protection in the toe, and one that I could hike in and do some adventuring in, maybe hunting in, just to see if you can pull some of the benefits that are known from Tabis into other aspects of your life. So we're gonna cut these in half, run them through a test to really figure out what those benefits of Tabis are that have kept them around for 700 years. Can you find a decent pair of work Tabis that will actually protect your toes? Can you find a pair of casual hike Tabis that you can do just about anything? Or is every single one of these just cosplay, costume footwear that you don't get any of the benefits and you end up just wasting your money because it looks like a boot, but it's just a costume? And like I said, this style of footwear dates back to the 1300s in Japan during the Muromachi period, or originally worn with socks made out of leather to accommodate traditional sandals. Then during the Edo period from around 1600 to 1850, Tabi boots and shoes became really common amongst all social classes and were often made out of cotton. So they're essentially cotton socks with a split toe, with sometimes you have some material on the bottom to give you some protection, but rubber really wasn't invented until the mid 1800s, and not really even adopted until like the early 1900s in some cases. Then in the mid 1900s, because of the adoption of rubber and its more affordable price point at this time, they started putting rubber soles on almost every Tabi boot, which made them easily adopted by laborers, farmers, construction workers, because you had all the benefits of a Tabi almost sock, but now with the benefit of rubber, the grip, the durability of rubber. And that's when this particular style really became popular. And then in the 1980s, Tabis were really popularized in high fashion, the mainstream US culture, because Martin Margiela had made Tabi boots after being inspired to his trip to Japan, and they were an instant success. Even up until today, those Margiela Tabi boots are hugely popular. You cut them in half, and they're just glued together, and it kind of echoes this story, to be honest. So if you haven't seen that Margiela Tabi boot video, go watch that. I'll put it in the links in the description. But fast forward to today, and Tabi boots are still widely popular in the fashion world and in Japanese culture. That's why I wanted to try to figure out, can we actually find a pair of work, hike, rugged style Tabi boots? This pair with the steel toes, the brand is So-Kai-Do, I believe. The style is the VO80 steel toe. They weigh 1 pound, 5 ounces. These retail for $65. They're made in China, and the way they position this product is with their patented steel toe caps. These Tabis are as solid as they look, with protective padding for the ankle and flexible Velcro fasteners for convenience and a perfect fit, which I do like, because I did not like these fasteners on this Tabi. Your boy's got lady ankles. The next boot's a little bit more expensive. This is also a So-Kai-Do. This is the I-88 Ninja Tabi shoe spike rubber boots. They weigh 1 pound, 6 ounces, don't have the steel toes, but got some wicked like steel spikes coming through them. They retail for a little bit more at $70. They're also made in China. And the way they position this is grip the ground, demonstrates the power to step on. It is equipped with metal spikes, waterproofing, water resistant materials. So it's like waterproof, water resistant. I'm a little bit concerned about this because they're so cheap, but it's hard to find a more expensive Tabi. There's two problems with almost every single camera and neck strap on the market. One is they're just all so ugly, just generally. And then two, they're just not very durable, putting your investment of your camera at risk every time you wear your neck strap. And so this year, I was like, I'm gonna find a designer. I'm gonna design a really simple, aesthetic looking little neck strap that still rolls in all the heritage good qualities, like the heavy duty leather, the hand sewing, everything that we've baked into every single one of our products at Rose Anvil. Can we apply that to a simple neck strap? That's what we attempted to do with the slim neck strap. So we use belt thickness leather, 1/2-inch strap, hand sewn details down here, solid brass hardware, removable neck strap. And because we use such solid brass, we use this hard leather, it's about as durable as these giant camera harnesses, because we use all the same techniques and we use all the same materials, but apply it to a small, lightweight neck strap and a wrist strap. So you get all the durability and resilience of hand sewing, really thick leather and solid brass, but you get all the beautiful aging and patina and the long-lasting aesthetic of high-quality leather that only gets better with time. It gets more comfortable with time, it gets more beautiful with time. It becomes very unique and distinct to you and how you use your product. And so if you want a camera strap that actually looks good, it's gonna be durable and it just looks better and gets more comfortable with age, check out the slim camera straps below, and thanks to Rose Anvil for sponsoring this video. So now let's start looking at the materials, starting with the steel toe pair first. So this is 100% cotton twill is what they say. We burned it to see if it acted like cotton. It smelled like cotton. It might not be 100%, it's hard to say. It had a kind of a funky smell to it. But the canvas is 1 millimeter thick, so decently thick. You know, it's gonna give you some protections. This boot has some unique features, like it's got this grippy material just on the inside of the collar. It's also lined. They say they have these little protective pads. It's just like a little piece of cotton in there. Barely really protective. Those are not gonna do anything for you. Those are just for to have a function mark on their product description. But I do like the Velcro. Not the classiest way of doing things, but it does make it a lot easier to get in than these little hooks here. And you can see you've got some random patches here and there, and I'm not really sure if these patches are functional or if they're just for looks. So we'll see if we get it cut in half, see if there's anything that points to it being functional. And then similar story with the spiked pair. You know, I think it's basically the same materials, just a different color. And so honestly, the materials in the upper, they're not bad, especially for under $100. And you can see the spike pair have the similar patches here and there, but this one's kind of interesting because it looks like it's a rubberized fabric in the lower, which I really like, because that's gonna make these more water resistant. I don't even know what that noise is. I think it's a hammer drilling into concrete. I don't see a waterproof layer in there. You know, that canvas is thin enough in the lining that I don't think it's waterproof. So we ran the waterproof test on both of these. Both failed, even though the one said waterproof and then water resistant. We also ran the puncture test. They both are around 40 pounds to puncture through, so not the most puncture resistant, but it is just cotton and twill and cotton canvas. What about the insoles? Do we have removable insoles? Because I'm really curious how they do the split toe. Just like that, I guess. Yeah, they're the exact same insole. It's topped with some like terry cloth looking fabric, and then it's just a cheap, really thin foam. That's like 3 or 4 millimeters thick. So nothing impressive there, but it's not horrible. At least it comes with an insole. If you look underneath of that, you can see it has another layer of what looks like an insole. I think that might be the midsole. Looks like a cotton topped foam layer underneath, but for under $100, that's about what I would expect for this boot. For me, it really comes down to what the sole construction looked like. I also wanted to test these steel toes to see if they actually are gonna protect your toes, and they do not. Your toes are toast. Especially if it's anything heavier than like 70 pounds, you'd probably cut your toes straight off. And I also wanted to test these spikes on the bottom, because when I bought these, I didn't think they were gonna be really actual metal spikes. So the problem with these is you can't really wear them anywhere. You know, I'd be worried wearing them on hardwood floors, definitely not. Wearing them on concrete, it's gonna be squeaky and it's gonna be really uncomfortable to wear. It's like wearing it in carpet even, you know, I'd be like, maybe don't wear your tabbies on the carpet or the rugs. It's pigeonholed into a very specific use. So that's not that functional either, to be honest. So now let's cut these in half, see what's on the inside, see if there's any redundant layers, and ultimately figure out, are they worth the price and should you invest in a pair of these? So let's cut them in half. All right, we got them cut in half, and if you're not subscribed, consider just taking the mouse, push that little subscribe button. It doesn't even cost you anything. YouTube barely shows you what you're subscribed to. All that is what allows us to buy brand new stuff just to cut in half and to show you exactly what you're spending your hard-earned money on. So now, let's see what's inside. They look better and worse than I expected, because you can clearly see it's a fairly shoddy job on the inside, you know, like really light stitching, it's really messy, a lot of the patterning is not lining up. This looks like it's a sub $100 boot or shoe. Is there any redeeming qualities on the inside? I do like that both of these have an internal counter cover. I like that the outsoles are solid all the way through for the most part. But the problem with those outsoles is they're so soft and squishy, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a stiff, rugged outsole because they're just so loose and floppy. And part of the whole aspect of this is it's supposed to be natural, it's supposed to be articulate, but the problem is with such an uneven outsole and with so much going on with the outsole, you don't have a flat foundation. So you're gonna get lumps, you're gonna feel it, it's just not gonna be as comfortable as if this was designed for actual function instead of looking like function. To me, this is an attempt to make a pair of tabis look like a pair of work tabis, like a hike tabi, without any of the real substance you need. And even the things that they put in as substance, like the steel toe for work, not great. The spikes in the bottom of the boot completely negate any other use of these. And a lot of these overlapping layers and all this redundancy is all just for show. And keep in mind, they are a $100 boot. So then can you work in a pair of these work tabis with the steel toe? I would not trust the steel toe. I wouldn't trust the puncture resistance through the sole because the scores were terrible. There's really no protection. You're gonna lose a lot of the comfort and they're not gonna be very durable. What about the hike tabis? Can you hike in these? Are they gonna be good hiking shoes? Similar story, you know, you can hike in these, but they're not really hiking shoes. They're made to look like hiking shoes. So have we found a decent tabi yet? No, I thought for sure some of these would be. I thought the Margiela's would be like decent quality, but they're just glued together. And these are just cheap, you know, crap boots. And these ultimately, if I were to say, are these work boots, hiking boots, or are these costume boots? I think they're way more costume boot. I think if you're gonna buy a pair of these, I would not plan on working in them. I wouldn't plan on hiking in them. If you got a cool cosplay fit or you have a couple times you wanna wear some tabis for some reason, that's the only reason I buy these because they're just not up to general boot standards, let alone tabi standards. So if you know of anyone that makes decent tabis, drop it in the comments because I wanna find a good pair of tabis. I wanna see what it's like to hike. I wanna see what it's like actually like to work in them and wear a pair of tabis how they're intended to be used. So thank you guys for watching. Check out the full tabi history. When we cut these apart, we go a lot deeper into it. It's really cool. And we'll go watch me talk trash about it. It's like $1,400 pair of tabis are just glued together with the Margielas. So I'll put those below and thank you guys for your support. See ya. This brand is Sokadoi, Sokadu, Suck a Dick.